Hare Krishna everyone, Dhanavat Pranams, Jai Srila Prabhupada. I hope you are all well. Many of you will remember that back earlier in the year, the Hare Krishna Project received some grant funding to do a lot of kind of community engagement, interfaith work this year around the United Kingdom. And with the funding, we've been keen to reach out to as many faith, spiritual and religious groups as possible. It's been a bit of a journey of exploration, and some of you that follow the Hare Krishna Project social media channels will remember that a couple of weeks ago I was invited to the headquarters of the Unification Church in England. They're also known as the Moonies, now known for their mass weddings. And today I am in central London. I'm in central London because I've been invited to visit the UK headquarters of the Church of Scientology. And I've just been in. I was there for an hour and a half and I actually had a wonderful time. The Church of Scientology is one of those groups, probably more than any other religious group, that's had a lot of bad press over the decades. Even more bad press than ISKCON. There's the church there. That is the UK headquarters of the Church of Scientology. I was allowed to take some photos inside, but it was very limited. Only after being there for an hour and kind of sweet talking the person that I was with, I had the opportunity to meet Quinn today. Quinn is kind of the PR spokesperson for the church, and he gave me a tour of, actually it's a very beautiful building, and just around the back is St. Paul's Cathedral, so that gives you an idea of where I am in central London. But I had a wonderful hour and a half in the church, and part of this project work, this community engagement work that we're doing this year at the Hare Krishna Project is not to form links, not to form partnerships, but to learn from each other. And I'm sure most of you will know the Church of Scientology has had so much bad press over the last 20, 30, 40 years, largely for very genuine reasons in the way it treats people and in the way it behaves and various practices. But we hear that in a lot of religious organizations where the leaders want to control people or insert power over people or operate in a very authoritarian way. And most of you would have seen the documentaries about Scientology over the decades that really document what's going on inside the church. However, about 6 years ago, I saw an interview that American journalist did with the PR spokesperson for the church at the time. And the interviewer asked the PR spokesperson, what do Scientologists actually believe? And to my surprise, he just said it. He said, we're not the body, we're actually eternal spiritual beings. And my reaction was, wow, that sounds just like Krishna consciousness. That sounds just like Gaudiya Vaishnavism. And ever since then, I've wanted to meet a Scientologist and talk about that first fundamental basic concept that we're not the body. So one of the key things that we found that we had in common today, myself as someone who's trying to practice Krishna consciousness, and with the wonderful guy I met inside the Church of Scientology today, is that we recognize that we're not these bodies. We would use a different label to describe the soul. We would call it the Atma, spiritual self, being. They would use the term Thetan. You might have heard the concept of operating Thetans in Scientology, but Scientologists, like Hare Krishna practitioners, believe that the first fundamental thing we have to understand is we're not the body. And then everything then in terms of spiritual knowledge and spiritual understanding goes from there. So actually I had a fantastic time at the Church of Scientology today, and I'm very grateful to Quinn, who runs the kind of PR side of things, for showing me around. So I do have some photos, and I'll be sharing them later on. Hare Krishna!